Get it straight, Buster. I'm not here to say please. I'm here to tell you what to do. And if self-preservation is an instinct you possess, you better do it, and do it quick. I'm here to help. If my help's not appreciated, then lots of luck, gentlemen. If I'm curt with you, it's because time is a factor. I think fast, I talk fast. I need you guys to act fast if you want to get out of this. So, pretty please, with sugar on top. Listen to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
All right, we're recording, and you're a bit hysterical right now. You just need to calm down, Strickland.
Hey, Nice Guy community, welcome back. I don't want to calm down, Doug. I am excited. Because we are doing another podcast. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the mic, Mr. Doug Sandler.
Strickland Bonner, it is a pleasure to just to be able to be here, be alive. My day is good. Everything is. I'm feeling really up right now.
I'm excited. There's so much going on with us. I love it.
There's a lot going on. This is going to be a record month. I am already sensing it. We're mid-September, and I'm already feeling like it's going to be just like incredible. The weather's been good. I've been out there riding my bike a lot. I'm not the kind of bicycle. I've been out on my Harley.
And it's the perfect time of the year to talk about, like, Mike Michalowicz, who's the guest today. He has a couple of books: Surge, Profit First, The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, and this last one that we're not going to read yet because it's called The Pumpkin Plan. And do you know why we're not going to read The Pumpkin Plan?
Because there's no fucking leaves on the ground.
Exactly.
How'd I do?
No fucking leaves on the ground.
Hey, wait a minute. Shout out to wait. Who was it? Was it Brian?
Yes, Brian, exactly, yes.
Brian Carson, I believe. Hold on a second.
Best answer ever.
That is the best thing ever. Anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, that's a perfect tease to head over to our landing page, which is niceguysonbusiness.com, and just click on the link. That'll take you right to the Nice Guy community. If you do that, you will see that and so many more. We didn't even mean for that to be a setup for the landing page, or for anything for that matter. Normally what we say, it makes no sense at all.
That's why I am the Segue King. That's what I'm all about.
You did very well with that.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Mike Michalowicz, who was actually on the show today, let me apologize to Mike ahead of time.
You're already apologizing. We're 1 minute into the intro and you're apologizing already.
Yeah, well, we're actually 2 minutes into the intro, and the reason I'm apologizing, or actually I shouldn't apologize, I should just thank Mike. Because of Mike, our show has taken on a whole new level. Not because we're profitable. Certainly
because we read The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur?
No, not that. You know that Mike has a co-host or a sidekick on the show. Her name is Christina. I think it's Christina, not Christine. I forget.
Yeah, it's on his Profit First podcast.
Yeah. He's got a podcast called Profit First Podcast. That's a tough one. Profit First Podcast. And I was listening to a show, and it's Mike and a co-host. I can't remember the co-host name. Sorry. And there's a woman who also is on there, and her giggle was so infectious that I said, we need a woman giggler on our show. And do you know who our woman giggler is?
That would be Sunny Lake, right?
Sunny Lake. So, Sunny, I know you're listening to the show. Sunny, take a moment and just find out how to find Mike's website, which is Strick will probably provide it for you because I have
MikeMichalowicz.com.
Yeah, good luck with the spelling.
Right, exactly.
Good name. Good luck with that. But if you come even close on Google, it'll fix it for you, which is great.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sonny, if you call Mike, thank Mike for a job. I mean, not that we're paying you anything, but thank Mike that you're even on the air with us because of the female influence on his show. I'm like, we really need a female influence on our show. Oh, shit. I want to tell you something. I meant to tell you this before.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just scrolling through some past clients that have purchased things from us.
Yeah.
We haven't even plugged our shirt.
Oh, my gosh, you're right.
In all of the episodes that we've done since the show has been out, we have not plugged our shirt.
Well, we haven't actually started printing them yet, so they're in preprint, right?
Yeah, should we just lay low a little bit?
Well, you go to the website, niceguysonbusiness.com, and you can check out this amazing T-shirt design that we have. I am a funkin' fan of the Nice Guys, and if you like it, then go ahead and buy one and we'll print one for you.
Is that how it works?
We'll figure out how to get them printed. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that first order. Probably by the time the show airs, somebody will have hit that buy button at least a couple of times, and then we'll be screwed.
And you know what else I'm thinking about? I know I talked about doing a small print on the back that would be our logo.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I think instead, maybe we should do a phrase. On the back, it should just say, just be nice.
Oh, that's good. I do like that a lot, but, we've already come up with the price. It's on the website.
Okay, so we could, cut the profit a little bit. It'll cost us extra to print that on the back.
It's going to cost us extra to print it on the back.
But we got to put out a quality product, so we may have to shed a few pennies of profit. We'll talk about it. We'll have to figure it out.
So speaking of shedding profit, we don't want to shed profit. We want to make profit first.
Oh, that was an amazing segue.
Wait a minute.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you very much. Well, Mike Michalowicz, I know I was in there with the story, and I'm sorry, Nice Guy community, if I'm leaving you hanging, but I can't remember what the fuck I was talking about. Does that happen to you ever?
Sure. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I remember what I was talking about. So I was doing a little research on some past customers because that got me into the shirt, which got me into my customers. I did not realize that Sunny Lake was a customer for my tent. What the hell's the name of my program? Do you know the name of my program? The Learning Loft. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Sunny bought my Learning Loft program.
She's the only one?
No.
And you didn't remember her name? I mean, you've only sold one of them, right?
I sold a bunch of them.
Have you really?
Well, maybe not a bunch. What would be a bunch considered?
More than two?
Well, let's just say this. Yes, I definitely sold more than two, but I have not yet made back my $10,000 investment.
Okay, that's understandable.
That's a lot of investment.
That's a lot of investment.
And Sunny was a customer, and maybe that's how we got introduced to Sunny to begin with. Anyway, let's back out of Sunny. Let's back out of the shirts. Let's back out
this is about
of the landing page, and let's get to profit. There we go. We're back to profit. Does your brain work that way?
Profit first.
Does your brain work that way in sections?
Oh, yes. Sometimes. It usually just doesn't circle back around again. That's the only problem.
Yeah, I have a disconnect.
It goes off on a tangent, and it never comes back.
Yeah, I'm that way too. Mike is on the show. Mike is infectiously funny. He is such a funny guy. He has this great podcast called Profit First. He talks about his riches to rags story, which is really the whole. And I know it's normally rags to riches, but it's just the other way around. Mike was too good for his own self, and you will hear his entire story. It's an amazing story about how he basically lost everything. And I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. I mean, he definitely lost everything. And he talks about the struggle, how he overcame the struggle, what happened as a result of that, how his ego was back to square one, and that's where it should be for all of us at a very normal level, but his was a little bit inflamed, swollen. Mm-hmm. It was swollen and red, Strick. It's not good.
That's not pretty.
It was not pretty at all.
Not pretty.
Anyway, so we'll get to our interview with Mike Michalowicz, but did I read the promise statement yet? Did I do that?
No, we skipped over that.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to read it this time, I'm afraid.
Yeah, because we've got a sponsor today, and we need some time for the sponsor.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Mantra Munchies.
Mantra Munchies.
Strickland, you know what? It's been a long time since we've done.
No, what?
We haven't sang the Nice Guy Blues.
No, we haven't.
No, so here's what we're going to do. Unfortunately, I don't have my guitar tuned and ready to roll for this one. Mm-hmm. On our live show.
Yeah.
When we do the Mantra Munchies commercial, will you sing the blues?
Sure, absolutely.
I think it'll be totally cool.
I think so too.
Totally cool. Mantra Munchies, excellent sponsor of the show. Great healthy foods, the way that you want them, which is delicious. Not, have you ever been to like one of the Whole Foods places and just gotten something that looks really good, but just tastes like shit?
I don't do the Whole Foods stuff that much, but I got to tell you, the Mantra Munchies, what was so interesting about them, with some of them, it was kind of the opposite, because we had the cookie dough creations,
you're right.
And they some of them look kind of funky, like it was somebody just took like the dirt and stuff from the ground at a national park and squoze it together in a ball. Well, but oh my God, it tasted so good.
The look on your face, and this isn't the commercial yet, but well, maybe it will be. I don't know. When you now we'll actually give them a legit commercial, but let's build up to it first. When you open that wrapper, the look on your face when you first saw it, and I wish I had that, and maybe I can find a copy of that and post it on our bonus page. you were totally not like real enthusiastic about what you were about to eat, were you?
No, I wasn't.
But when you ate it, what'd you think?
Oh my God, it was amazing.
I know.
I ended up eating like 10 of them.
When I got the package in the mail from Kendall, I opened it up. It was wrapped in one of the really neatly wrapped too in one of the what do you call those big cooler things, the disposable coolers with the with the U-line like chill packs in there.
Cool.
It was the best thing ever. It was like I felt like it was Christmas, and that's pretty good for a Jewish guy. Anyway, so I opened up the package and I'm like, gosh, these things are, the packaging was cool. Each one individually wrapped within an individual, big wrapper as well. And she sent us, and we actually have I think she calls it, was it the Nice Guys Blend?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we have our own product. We have our own name on this thing.
I know, we're special.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the... that wasn't even the commercial.
Nope.
Give us a second. Let's get to our sponsor, Mantra Munchies, and then right over to our interview. Who the hell are we interviewing today? I forget. Oh, yeah. Wait, who was it? Was it
Mike
Michalowicz?
Michalowicz.
Oh, Mike loves this. He doesn't care if I screw up his name. This is the easiest name to screw up. He gave me so much latitude to be able to screw up his name. I'm like, no, I listened to your podcast, Mike. I read your book. I actually, as a result of reading his book, that's why he is on the podcast, because I was so captivated by his book, Profit First.
Nice.
What do you think that's all about? Profit First.
Strickland. I listen to the podcast too, so I'm not going to spoil what Profit First is all about, but I'm sure he talks about his methods in the interview, right?
Yeah, but I would say, what would be the obvious answer when you think about the words Profit First? What would you think it would be about?
I don't know, because again, I've listened to his podcast numerous times, so I know what the system is, and I can't think of it as if I didn't know what the system was. I guess it would be profits first.
Oh, there we go.
You think?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Okay. So listen up to this interview with Mike Michalowicz talking about Profit First. He's an author, but don't let that make you tune out. Please, I promise he's not boring. Of a great book called Profit First. I read it. Okay, listen, I'll admit it. I'm listening to it. He is a podcast host. He's good. Again, nice guy community. Don't tune out yet. He's no schlub. Mike, you've never been introduced as a schlub, I bet. I'm sure.
The author tune out. I like that because I was like, oh, another author. I wanted to.
That's what I always say. Shit, another fucking author. Okay, so he's the host of the Profit First podcast, and Strick and I both listen to this podcast, and he's a funny guy. Are you sensing a theme with this Profit First? He's been known to drop the F-bomb every once in a while, so Stacy Sherman, you will like him for sure. Kids, ask your parents. Welcome to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, Mike Michalowicz.
Doug, man, it's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
There's a lot of guests that we've had some pretty high-powered guests on the show. I mean, you're not one of them, but we've had a lot of... No, I'm just kidding.
Who've you had? Give me.
I don't know. Whatever. We've had some guests. No, we've had some high-powered guests. I'm excited to have you. I mean, literally, I said when we did this little pregame for a moment, like, that's not bullshit. And it's serious. I love your podcast. I love your book. I think what you have to say makes common sense. It makes great sense. And I think anybody can do it. And that's kind of why I wanted to have you on the show, and I'm excited to have you here.
Oh, great. Well, I appreciate the kind words.
So let's start here, Mike, because I think this is really important. You have such a long fucking last name. Is it really important to be Michalowicz? Can you shorten that for podcast hosts like me that can't read well?
It's funny. I was told by my father, he's like, one day, he's like, when you do professional work, that name is going to be horrible for you. You should shorten your last name. And I was like, nah. I said, I like our name. I like the family name. I'm keeping it. It really is such a hard name that it deters a lot of people. So what I did, I can't remember who said this, but someone's like, whatever your biggest weakness is, make that your strength.
All right.
So the fact that people struggle with Michalowicz, what I did is I leverage the fact that it is hard and make fun of it. So if you go to my website, which is mikemichalowicz.com.
Oh, boy.
Oh, shit. On there, there's all these different variations of how to pronounce my name. And it's this guy reading them and high school nicknames, Michelob and Schmitz. Like, those are just some of the G-rated ones to Michalowicz. That was a pop. All these different pronunciations, which ironically, when people visit that, learn how to pronounce my name, and they become ambassadors saying, no, it's not Michalowicz, it's Michalowicz, but you can call him Michelob and Schmitz. So
yeah, we all want to defend you because, now that I've seen at least a little bit of your body of work, and if you have not had a chance, nice guy community that's out there, you probably have not if you're listening to this show, because you're a total loser if you're listening to this show. But if you really want to be a winner and you really want to make it happen, well, listen to Mike's show. It's called the Profit First Podcast, and it really is very good. We'll put all the links in the show notes and everything. And Mike, that's a wrap of the show. I appreciate you being here.
No, thank you. That was good. That was fun.
I told you it was going to be a quick interview. Yeah. So, where do we even start? I mean, there's a lot of action items that you have in the book. There's a lot of action items that you put on your podcast. Can you give our community just like a thumbnail sketch of what it is? It sounds kind of obvious, profit first, but maybe it's not as obvious to people that don't know anything about it. So why don't you give a thumbnail sketch of what you do?
Yeah, so I don't think it is obvious. When people hear profit first, they think that I'm a money monger and it's all about profit over people, but that's not at all the concept of profit first. It was this realization I had, where I heard there was a study conducted about businesses in the U.S. and it found that 83% of small businesses survive check by check. And just so we're clear, a small business by the SBA is defined by a company that does $25 million in revenue or less annually.
Oh,
it's absolutely my business. I suspect it's almost everyone listening to the show. And how can 83% of them be surviving check by check? Like, what's wrong with us? That's what I thought. Like, we're able to do all these different things, run a business, attract prospects and clients, but we can't figure out profit. Like, what's wrong in our brain? Mm-hmm. Have we been lobotomized for profit? And I discovered no, there's a problem with the formula we follow, which is sales minus expenses equals profit. It's the foundational formula we've all been told. It's the foundation for accounting, is that profit is the bottom line. That's actually the term we use for it. But behaviorally, and I also study behavioral psychology, behaviorally, when something comes last, it gets ignored. It's like the last, it's the
leftovers.
The leftovers.
Yeah.
The last kid you pick for the baseball team is the kid you don't want on your team.
Easy. That was always me. Just easy.
Easy. Say that. Yeah. So I simply propose in Profit First is to take the pay yourself first principle we use in our personal lives and apply it to our company. And what I mean by this is it's now sales minus profit equals expenses.
Okay, now wait. But before you go on, just say that part one more time, because I think that although I know that that this is the meat and potatoes of it, that's the one that really just blew my mind, because I'm like, what was it again, Mike?
Yeah. So the old formula is sales minus expenses equals profit. And what I'm doing here is I'm not changing the math. So actually, logically, if you swap the variables like that, it's exactly the same. What I'm saying is sales minus profit equals expenses. And while logically it's the same, or mathematically it is, behaviorally it's radically different. In this formula, what I say is every time a sale comes in, every time you have a deposit, take a predetermined percentage, 10, 15, 20%, take a predetermined profit percentage, immediately subtract that profit, hide it away from yourself, pay yourself first, and then run your business off the remainder. And mathematically, it works out the same way. The variables are just swapped. But behaviorally, we start to become very critical of our spend. We become very innovative and find new ways to get the same results because less money is available for expenses. What comes first always gets prioritized. And we're literally prioritizing expenses. We say sell, you have to sell, to cover expenses. And that we're putting expenses first. And I'm saying, no, sell to generate a profit and then use the remainder to find out how you can run your business with this remainder.
So, and I guess where I was initially confused, but then as I started to get into the book a little bit more, you obviously go through the step by step. And I love how you put in the book and you have all of your anecdotal evidence that you end up saying, all the little stories that you throw in there, aside from just reading the book. You're saying, hold on, let's come out of the book for a second. Let me tell you why this works. But what's so great about it is that you walk step by step through the process. But where does one even think about, or where would you even start this? I mean, is it literally as easy as you have $1,000 comes in the door from a sale and you're going to take 2% or 4% or whatever it is, that percentage that you decide, and you're going to put that into a separate bank account to start? Or can we simplify it for the nice guy community?
Yeah. So the process is there's a few steps involved in the full implementation of Profit First. I suggest actually setting up 5 accounts. One just to handle income. It's just the inflow of money and it piles up there, so you know how much money is flowing in, and then you allocate from there to different responsibilities. Profit is one. Owner's pay. You as the owner of the business are, I argue, the most important employee. We have to make sure your pay is reserved. This is above and beyond profit. Tax reserve. When tax season comes, you start a business for financial freedom. It should be paying your taxes for you. So a tax reserve, and then operating expenses, which is used to run your business. But if you're just starting out, and I realized I've been talking about this for 2 years now. I've actually gone back. I'm going back to a keynote. I just actually got called today. I keynoted to 1,000 people 2 years ago, and they just asked me, would you come back and revisit this? Because most of the people haven't done it. And so I'm actually going to now go back and keynote to the same 1,000 people on the same subject. And for a while, I was getting frustrated. Like, why aren't people doing this? What's wrong with people? But I realized what was wrong with me was I was giving the full system out, and it was like too abrupt of a change. It was like taking a frozen mug out of the freezer and put it in a red hot oven.
Yeah.
So here's what I found is the right move, and this is what I'm going to tell those 1,000 people when I meet with them. Only set up one account. So today, everyone listening to this show, the nice guys out there, come on, just set up one account. Go to your bank, set up an account, and call Profit. It's a savings account. Run your business out of your main checking account like you always have. But every time a deposit comes in now, take a small percentage. And if you've never been profitable in the past, just start with 1%. It's something you won't miss. $1,000 comes in. I'm saying take $10.
Right.
So you won't feel the impact on how you operate, but you will instantly gain confidence that you can do the system. Then over time, as the months go by, I suggest once a quarter, every 3 months, up the percentages, improve your profitability, add the other accounts, but lower the bar for now. Start by only opening one profit account and allocating 1%.
All right, let me play devil's advocate for a second. And I've done this with over the years with many different things that I've wanted in my life. Let's say I wanted an automobile, but I didn't want to go and finance the automobile at 100% of the finance. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to spend the next year putting $500 away every month, and then at the end of the year, I'll have $6,000, and that'll be a great down payment. It's almost like that 401k payment that you don't miss anymore after you've made a couple of payments. But let's look at it this way. You got a guy and he says, well, I have a business and every month I'm barely I'm paying all my expenses and I have profit or I have money that's coming in. So I make $10,000 a month and I spend $10,000, maybe $11,000 a month. I'm going to put $100 in an account. I can't afford to do that because I need to be able to pay my bills.
Right. So that's the first response I get. I say, listen, I'm not profitable at all, Mike. I've never been profitable. Now you're saying take profit first. I can't sustain. Well, the second you start allocating your profit first and you can't sustain, that is your business giving you direct and immediate in-your-face feedback saying you're running your business the wrong way. Right? You actually have too many expenses or you're not running it efficiently enough. We fall victim. And it's also our ally, if we do it right, we fall victim to this thing called Parkinson's Law. And this is how Parkinson's Law works. It's a behavioral theorem that says our demand for something increases to meet the supply of that available resource.
Absolutely.
Which means, and I'll just use toilet paper as an example because I don't know why, but it's pretty. But look at your toilet paper roll tonight. If it's a full roll, when you use it, you'll consume more of it. When there's only 3 sheets left, you'll actually get your job done there with less toilet paper. You're much more conservative. So the greater the supply, the faster our consumption.
You're speaking in a language that actually I completely relate to. You totally are. Totally. In my house, my wife, if there is a lot of toilet paper on that roll, how is it gone the next day? But if there's only like 4 or 5 squares on it, that same 4 or 5 squares, and she's using that bathroom, I'm telling you, she's inefficient with her toilet paper usage.
It's always this way. The available resource gets consumed. An empty garbage can will fill up to the rim very quickly, and then it'll stay there for 2 weeks at the rim. Yeah. So it's the resource availability that we see, and we don't even know that. We don't know that subconsciously we do, but we're not consciously aware that we're filling up a garbage can fast and then stuffing and packing and using it resourcefully at the end, but we do. Well, the same thing is with money. This is a subconscious response. We log into our bank account. We see a lot of money there. We feel immediate internal relief saying, oh, we're sitting on some cash. I feel good. Mm-hmm. Oh, I can pay that bill. I can make that investment. I can do this. Those bills have been piling up. I can pay them. It all goes out and it goes to zero and panic ensues. But by allowing that cash to expand, our spending behavior will expand to match it. By taking our profit first, we're intentionally kind of only serving up 3 sheets of toilet paper. It forces instant conservation on a subconscious level. We use things more resourcefully. But I think the more fascinating thing is we become much more innovative. You would never think, just to go with this toilet paper example now, you would never think when you have a brand new roll of toilet paper to use anything but toilet paper. But if it's only 3 sheets of toilet paper, whatever's sitting in that garbage can becomes a wonderful resource. You know? So it's funny, but it's our response. In our business, if we serve up less money to run the business, we allocate our profit first and hide it away, we will become very resourceful in our business. We'll find ways to do things and get the same results, but do it in non-traditional ways that don't cost money.
Let me ask you a question. What ultimately, I think I might know the answer to this question because I'm most of the way or halfway through the book. What would be a comfortable number percentage-wise you would say that you should be allocated towards profit when you're running this thing at a good tilt?
Yeah, so I did an analysis of about 1,000 what I call the fiscally elite companies in the world. And I found that their profit percentages vary based to some degree on their size. A very small company, like say you do $250,000 in revenue or less, typically that signifies the owner is the exclusive operator. Maybe there's a part-time employee, but all that owner's everything. In this case, a huge portion of the money needs to actually be allocated to the owner's personal income, their pay, to compensate them for the work they're doing. And a smaller portion will go to profit, which is the reward above and beyond pay. It's basically the celebration account is what I call it. But when your business starts growing, a little more money is allocated to profit, but your owner's pay drops. A company that does, this is another extreme, of $50 million in revenue, the pay to the owners is roughly 1 or 2% of the top line or even less. But profit will be maybe 10 or 15%.
Yeah.
Well, 10 or 15% of 50 million, that's $7.5 million in cash being distributed to the shareholders, which in a privately held company is usually the owner and maybe a partner or two.
It's very interesting how the process works. And I want to take a right turn for a second and talk about the expense side, because there was some really interesting interviews I think that you did, or you share some stories in the book about the expenses that you run into and how we get nickel and dimed every month. $20 here, $10 there. I mean, it's fucking nuts how much money, if you turn around and you look, between Infusionsoft and MailChimp and all the other, and your social media and LinkedIn and your website. By the time your Amex bill is at $1,000 and you haven't even started operating your business, so talk about how you can look at those and examine those expenses and reduce them.
Yeah, so that's the creep factor, and it's kind of like a gym. You join a gym membership, and if you go or not, you're getting charged. So what I do is I evaluate every expense, and I ask myself, is this a cost, meaning it's not deriving benefit to my company, and therefore it's a cost and something I can alleviate, or is it an investment I'm not utilizing, which is different? So we can look at Infusionsoft, for example. I have no relation to them. I don't work with them. I don't even use their package, but I hear wonderful things about it, unless you don't use it. You see, if you're paying the hundreds of dollars a month for Infusionsoft, but you're not using it, now we have to consider, is this a cost, meaning it's something that derives no benefit to my company no matter what I do with it? I got to get rid of that. Right. Or am I not making the investment to utilize that and make it a powerful resource? So we need to evaluate the two. And then you got to select. If it's a cost, it's got to go. If it's an investment you're not utilizing, you then must ask the next question, am I committed to using this resource to its fullest? And then if yes, you got to leverage it. If no, then realize it's not the Infusionsoft is bad. It's actually phenomenal. You're the schmucko. And we're going to drop the cost of Infusionsoft because you're not utilizing it. But realize your company could be moving forward in that category if you did utilize it. So that's how you do it. But of course, then the question is, some of these costs are kind of insidious. They're hidden away. You don't even know you're incurring costs until you get a statement and you look and you're like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 5 months. I didn't even know I was doing this. Here's one little hack. Cancel your credit card. or your debit card, wherever it's getting
They'll
charged.
come and find you.
Oh, they'll find you instantly. Every cost you have, your phone will start ringing like crazy. Hey, we couldn't process the bill. What's going on? Then you can evaluate it one by one.
Was that your imitation of a bill collector, or was that just that was good? That actually,
it was like a bill collector / weatherman. Hey, glasses unrated the forecast this afternoon, and by the way, you owe your bill.
Where do you live? Where are you from?
New Jersey.
What part?
Jersey. Northern New Jersey. It's Morristown.
Morristown. I was going to say like Morristown area.
Yeah, how do you know that?
Well, I know Morristown because I used to live not in Morristown. I lived in Maple Shade. I commuted all the way up to Morristown and worked very close to the Green.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I heard about you.
Yeah, Medical Review Corporation. Hey, my cousin Mark Allen, he was up there. I don't know if you know Mark. Have you been there all your life?
Yeah, well, I don't live in Morristown. I live a little bit north of it, but it's the big city near us, or big-ish
Oh,
city.
so you actually live further north in Morristown, like Woonton or Boonton or...
I went to high school in Boonton, yeah. Off of Whitton Street in Boonton, yeah. So you know the area. That's amazing.
I do. I love that area. I heard a little bit of an accent, but I wasn't 100% sure where that was from. But you did a very good bill collector from somebody
in the New Jersey area. They all big weatherman.
Yeah, totally right. Sorry, we got off track there.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Just pay your bill.
Pay your bill every month. Every
month.
So when you come to the realization that you have all of these expenses that you shouldn't have because you've canceled your credit card now and they're coming after you. Yeah. So you really, I guess the way I look at it is you're doing a couple of things. You're changing a process, which is developing a different mindset, which is really developing a different series of habits. It's almost like the realization that these things are expenses in your life there's got to be some reality to it. You've got to make it real that there are expenses in your life, because if you're not going to increase your sales, you got to reduce your expenses to keep the profit coming in, right?
Yeah, totally. It's one of the most common expenses. There are actually just two common expenses in small business, especially service-based businesses. It's employees and rent and space. And in my prior businesses, which struggled to survive check by check, like I just want people to know, I wrote this book, Profit First, not to solve your problem. I did it to solve my problem. I couldn't run a profitable business. Now, I thought I was a lone island here. I'm finding a lot of people have this challenge. And now it is out there to solve.
Everybody it is incredible, the problems. It's like when you announce you have an issue, all of a sudden the entire world has that same issue that you have.
Yeah, I thought it was just me. I thought I was the only moron on this planet.
Well, sorry. Go ahead. You talk, and I have a really a fun question, but you go ahead. Good.
Yeah. So I remember when I came to Office Space, I had a forensics business. We got a fancy office space. We made it really nice and beautiful. And our justification was it's going to impress clients. Today, literally at 7, we actually hired our 8th employee. We are packed in my basement, which is the size of an elevator.
Yeah.
It is loud. It is effing hot down here. It is miserable. And I love it because it is the definition of profit first. We don't need space. We actually have a client coming in here next week, and we've had other clients come in, and they go crazy about it because they're like, I didn't know you could run such an impressive operation out of such a shithole. So it becomes a fun kind of story, but it also resonates with me. That money can be going out to the landlord, or it can be going to paying my employees and myself. And
you're gonna spend at least $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 a month to house seven employees in a spot where you need office space. It's so incredible. One of the things that you talk about in the book, which I love so much, which really pulled me into the book, is that you just said it. You just don't talk the talk, you walk the walk, and you just provided the example with your house. But can you spend a moment talking about this windfall of cash that you came into, which wanted me to say totally just F you when I was listening to you read the book, until I realized what happened and, and all the stuff that occurred after that. Just spend a moment talking about that, because I think this is totally relatable.
Yeah. So in hindsight, I didn't realize how lucky and what good timing was. I thought I was just a genius. My first business, I sold to a private equity group, meaning just a few wealthy guys. And I did okay. I made like 6 figures okay, exit from there. But it wasn't like a life changer. But it was like, holy cow, I sold a business and I got freedom to do anything I want. I got a wad of cash that'll last me for a while. My second company was in computer crime investigation. And we, in part, got the Enron trial along with some other marquee cases. Right place, right time. I opened this business, and the next day, Enron breaks, and I get a call from the legal team. My company went from nothing a startup to about $7 million in annual revenue in 2.5 years. We were on a run for $7 million, and we got acquired by Robert Half International. It's a Fortune 500. And now the business doesn't sell for 6 figures; it's 7 figures. And and this wasn't 1 million; it was millions.
Right.
I had a business partner, so we split it based on our equity, and I got my check. And for the first time in my life, I had wealth I never even imagined, particularly when I was like 30. I think 35 at the time, or 34, something like that.
At this part of your story, as you're telling it, I'm saying, I don't like this guy. I just don't like him because he's that guy. And I just wanted to hate you. But I'm just like, okay, I've already invested. I paid for your book. Nobody gave me your fucking book. Okay, I paid for it. So I'm going to listen to the rest of the book. I'm going to create this good investment.
I through it. Yeah, this is where the guy's like, oh, now do what I did because I'm such a successful genius.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Where's the shoe going to drop? And
yeah. So the only person I got caught up in that story was myself. I thought I was a genius because look what I've done twice in a row. I've got the Midas touch, and I actually believed it. So I decided to become an angel investor. I started 10 businesses simultaneously.
Oh my God.
All of them collapsed. I was putting money into them, but I was like, I'm the genius here. Why aren't these working? I was putting more money into them. 2 years later, I lost everything. I didn't have a penny left. My accountant called me and said, Mike, you should declare bankruptcy, which I never did, by the way. That my ego was that big too that I was like, no way. Which in hindsight, maybe that would have been the logical smart move.
How long did that fall from grace take from the time that you get? How long?
2 years.
So you went through your million. I don't mean to laugh at you. It's not funny.
I mean,
it's not funny. It's just like, but look at the amazing lessons that you learned out of that. And I know that that's okay, but can somebody else learn them their nickel?
Right. It's amazing. So people are like, oh, Mike, you write a lot of books about growing your business, making money. But I really should write a book about losing money because I'm really good at that. Like,
yeah,
I'm really good. So yeah, lost everything. So I was a millionaire for a very brief period, I think for about a day, and the collapse had begun. And literally, I remember looking at my bank account, and there was maybe $10,000 left cash. And that represented all my money. My retirement savings, all that stuff has been gone. And when my accountant called, he said, you should declare bankruptcy because you owe taxes of $20,000 and you have $10,000 to your name. And I said, well, what happens if you can't pay your taxes? He's like, you go to jail, so you got to pay them. And I got on an installment plan, which is miserable.
I know that. Mine is called alimony, though.
Yeah. So similar.
Yeah, very similar yet different.
And then what happened is you would think that's like the rock bottom moment. But then I went through depression and struggled. And whoever says the only way up from rock bottom is – the only way – once you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. It's total bullshit.
A little bit.
Once you hit rock bottom,
a little bit further down. Huh?
Yeah, you can get dragged along. You can get shards of shell in your face. It's horrible down there. And so I went through depression and so forth. But it did trigger a change in me of a few things. One is I pray that my ego has been permanently torn out, that I'm never going to be a dick again. Because I thought I was better than others, and that was so dicky. And I thought that trophies mattered. Like, if I had a nice car, I'd impress others. It's all nonsense, and I hope that ego is never to come back. Secondly, it was the realization that, oops, I do a lot of things wrong, and didn't even realize it because of good fortune and good timing. It blinded me to the mistakes I was making. And that's what triggered me to become an author. And Profit First and Surge and The Pump. Every book I've written has been about exploring what I actually did wrong and then learning from others what I should have done and then testing on myself. Before I wrote Profit First, I figured out I was never profitable. I said, how do other people do it? I found that no one in business was doing Profit First, but I did find that people that were independently, personally wealthy paid themselves first. So I said, maybe that can be applied to business. Then I started testing myself, started working, and I tested on friends. It worked. I wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal about it. And more people were doing it. It's like, holy crap, this is the solution. And I wrote the book. And that's what I do iteratively now. When I come up with a thesis or a problem, that I need to fix. I explore how others are doing it somewhere else, translate it to my business, test it out, and then roll it out through a book.
The reality of it is the system is very simple. It just requires a slight change, and that's usually the biggest hang up that people have, is just making any change in their lives. Because my mom always says it, she's standing right next to me. She says, you hang long enough, you just get used to hanging. And people are used to running businesses that aren't profitable. I mean, I've always thought that I was a good business guy. Yeah. As rough as I am around the edges a little bit, I've had my own business for 30 years and fortunately gainfully unemployable now at 17 or 18 years of doing this without any outside help at all. It's just very interesting that the challenge is just getting people to take action at all. Do you find that's the same?
I find there's a draw to the familiar, and just as you're saying, even if it's not working, there's a lot of comfort, and at least I know what to expect. Mm-hmm. So in my businesses, I was running them. They were not profitable. I was growth oriented, which everybody I met was growth oriented. And since I wasn't profitable, I would go to others and say, how do I grow and make money? And well, just keep plowing back your money, keep putting it in. So I was seeking out knowledge that would then support what was not working for me, to do more of what was not working, but it seemed right and comfortable. And then I seek out others that were saying what I was already doing, and it felt comfortable. So I would stay in this. I never went to someone and said, hey, I just want to be profitable. Nothing, I don't care about any other component of my business. I want to make profit the exclusive priority. What should I do in that case? And I wonder if they would have said, oh, don't focus about spending money and trying to use money to grow, and hire more people and just spend money. Do this and that. I wonder if things would change. So there's a draw to the comfortable. This, even if it sucks, because it's familiar. The other thing I realized is these paradigms or axioms, these beliefs we have, die really hard, or they don't die. So I found out that about 83% of businesses in the U.S. are surviving check by check. So almost every business is struggling. I didn't think it was that way, but I discovered that. And people are comfortable in that struggle because they think they're following the rules.
Yeah, the rules, exactly.
They're saying, listen, the rule to entrepreneurship, and you see it on the cover of Inc. magazine. Mark Zuckerberg did it. He worked out of Harvard. He dropped out of school. He then went all in on this thing, and he raised venture capital, and he grow, and he made money one day. Well, if that's the rule to making money, you better get accepted by Harvard, and you better drop out. Like that's the first step. The second step is you better know wealthy people that will plow money
back
into
your product, right?
Yeah. And then you better spend all that money as fast as possible to build a real big staff. And then at the end, maybe that will turn into a profit. That's the rules. And we freaking believe it.
Yeah, everybody does believe it for sure. Mike's book is called Profit First. His podcast is also called Profit First. I love Chris and Christina on the show. They definitely add a good element. Where you lack in personality, I can tell, you're kind of laid back and chill. They definitely they fill it in for you. And, I want to admit something to you. I've been listening for a couple of months to the show. And as a result of listening to the show, I heard Christina on your show, and I said, we need a female element to our show also.
Yep.
Just the giggle. That's all we need. We just needed a giggler. So we ended up getting a giggler on our show also, Sunny Lake, and Sunny is a valuable contributor to the show now. And we found out that she's much more than just a giggler. She's also got a good rack too. So,
well, I would never say something like that ever.
I'm sure. Of course. Again, I nobody's ever going to hire me ever again. So I'm just digging.
So you're safe. You're safe.
I am safe. If you have not had a chance yet to check out Mike's Profit First podcast, make sure you do that. Not only is it great information, but it's also information about case studies. I mean, he actually has people that come on the show and talk about step by step what they did in order to change their ways. If you don't believe necessarily Mike, and I know you don't believe me, if you don't believe either one of us, just check out the real life examples that he has on the show. So, Mike, thank you so much for being a part. How can our audience, the Nice Guy community, get in touch with you if they want to get more information about your system?
Yeah. So if you want to learn more about me, the website is Mike Michalowicz. We referred to it. I'll give you two shortcuts to get there because it's so hard to spell my name. My nickname in high school was Mike Motorbike. So go to MikeMotorbike.com. You'll find me that way.
Nice.
Or if you just want to do the Google routine, type in Mike, M-I-K-E, space Mick, M-I-C, the longest, most Polish name that will then magically appear. That's me. That's me. So there's one or two ways to get there. On my website, all my books, chapters I have there are downloadable for free, so you can check it out. I used to write for the Wall Street Journal for 2 years. If you subscribe, I also give away my 10 most popular articles I ever wrote for the Wall Street Journal. And yeah, with that, brother, thank you.
That's cool. Hey, a couple of personal questions, and then I'll let you go. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So AdWords. Do you do anything with AdWords?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you used Google too. I mean, I found that I rank pretty high in the search if somebody searches for nice guy Doug or something like that. But I just never knew. Do other guys invest in AdWords? So you're no to the AdWords thing.
I'm a no. And not because they aren't any good or don't work. I'm just not sophisticated enough to understand.
I thought the same thing too. I had a guest on the show. It hasn't aired yet, and I'm like, it can't be that simple, is it? I just give them my money and they help me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's how it works. Other thing, do you use an iPhone or do you have something inferior?
I have an iPhone.
Okay, great. Can you go to your photo? You have it anywhere near you?
Yeah, it's actually in my pocket.
Okay, great. Go to your photo app. Tell me what's the last picture you took.
Oh, that's a good question. The last picture I took.
The dirtier, the better. That's fine.
No, it was so lame.
Oh,
it's funny. It's a picture of an office that has office space available because we've got to the point where we're so cramped in this space, we need to move to a new space. There's physically no more room. So I'm driving around town on bike because I want to be within biking distance selfishly, and found
you're a total nerd, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Hey, and the other question is, and I wish you a lot of luck in getting that space at a good rate. What is the last text message you sent and received?
Last text message. Gosh, these are interesting questions. The last text message I received, I deleted them pretty quickly, so I don't know, was my wife saying, reminder, ... Go help Rick set up his iPad with his new router. I'll tell you, that's the definition of you should never be in the tech industry. I did this 12 years ago, 15 years ago, and I still have to be the computer guy for every relative, friend, and enemy of the family, and I got to be the tech guy.
All right, so that was the incoming. How about the outgoing?
There is no outgoing. I deleted them all. Oh, actually, let me see. Hold on. Maybe I didn't. Dove Mountain is coming. This is to my friend Danny. If Dove Mountain is coming, I've been doubling workouts in prep of tennis. So this is a guy, he's actually a wonderful supporter and sponsor of what I've done, and we've just become friends over the years. He goes to this resort called Dove Mountain. I've never been there. I think it's in Arizona, and he plays tennis. I don't play tennis. But I took him on like a year ago. Yeah. I took him on in tennis, and he beat me. But it was like 6'4", 6'5", 6'2". So I really gave him a game.
You're a natural, man.
So I then sent him, Yaniv, a trophy. The biggest one I could find. It was 7 feet tall. And I shipped it. And I said, congratulations, here's your trophy. I said, but we have to have a rematch. So now it's all this talk about a rematch and so forth. He was just starting tennis last year, and now he had like maybe 10 lessons. He's been playing tennis straight through now. He's maybe had 100 lessons.
Oh, he's going to kick your ass now.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Hey, are you loving the podcast world? I know you're what, about 100 and some odd you're like 100 and some episodes in, right?
Yeah, I think it's the best media form for now. I love the blog world, and I am on the verge of making the decision to finish my blogging. I blog now almost 10 years straight, and I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read your blog, but I was listening to you on it, and you had on your podcast, and you mentioned that you've been blogging for all those years. I love it. I think the podcast is a great way. And 2 years ago, I'd never even heard of a fucking podcast. I'm like, oh, you want me to do what? And we've had this for about a year and a half, and we're loving it. It's introduced me to. I mean, you would have never taken my phone. Honestly, right. Mike, would you have ever taken my phone call?
Yes, I would have. But
wrong answer.
Yeah. No, I would say I'll take anyone's phone call, but I wouldn't devote time. I mean, you'd have to catch me.
Yeah.
But when someone's like, "Hey, you come on my podcast?" Yeah. I mean. Yeah. Yeah.
We got a good
love
audience. My audience will actually be very responsive. You have some good shit, and people should listen to it. It's legit. It's good stuff. So thank you, Mike, for being a part, and thanks for being a part of all the shenanigans. I know I'm a little bit bass-ackwards with all my stuff, but
I love it. I love it.
I listened to your show. I knew you could handle it.
Thanks, Doug. Nice
guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Special thanks to our guest once again, Mike Michalowicz. That's a fucked up spelling though. And all of his information, including the link, you won't even have to spell his name. It'll just be in the show notes. So Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Do you think they could have rambled on any longer today? Blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah.